This is a pretty amazing opportunity for all of us. This is the first time this multi-tool will be actually revealed on YouTube. As far as I know, and as far as the benefactor of this multi-tool knows, there is no other real look at this multi-tool ever online where you can actually see its functions. This is also the most expensive multi-tool I've handled, so a huge thanks to Jan Holmes from the Multi-Tool World Facebook, where he is the man behind the scenes there. And he sent this to me to review for all you guys to enjoy. And then I will be, as quickly as I can, sending this back to him so he can enjoy this and restore this tool. So once again, a huge thanks to Jan Holmes. And make sure that you go over to the Multi-Tool World Facebook group and tell him a huge thanks from the HVAC Budget channel. This would never have been possible without him, and probably will never have such an expensive multi-tool on the channel again. So a huge thanks to him. This is, look at that, first ever seen on YouTube, a World War II escape multi-tool. These are very rare. Wow, take a look at that. So I think the most expensive I have seen these go is around $3,500. So these are very collectible, and you hardly ever see these tools. And I have never seen someone handle this in person. Now, Clayton Hutton, he is accredited with masterminding this tool for the British, for producing it, being behind the project in World War II. This is a very unusual tool in that, according to some accounts, this was actually meant to be smuggled into German prisons. And if it could be concealed, this would give the Allies a way to escape. And we'll go through some of its functions, but that was part of its purpose. It was to be used as a tool behind enemy lines. So Mr. Hutton's book on escape and evasion, the tactics in World War II, that book is very highly sought after. And the cheapest I've seen it is around $200 online. There is a Kindle version, but if you actually want the paper version, it is very expensive. Now, there's not a whole lot written on this, so it's just the tidbits and pieces you have to pick up from many different websites and books that they reference. Now, on the end right here is what is the wire cutter. So I assume this was meant to cut through like barbed wire, prison wire perhaps, or even to get onto an enemy base or to escape an enemy base. So these are fairly beefy pliers right there. They definitely look pretty tough, pretty amazing. And then essentially what was done is they added a pocket knife on top of what would have normally been just a set of wire cutters. So this wire cutter right here, it looks like fits down to here and then almost, yeah, it fits into that tool. And then you have what essentially would be a large pocket knife system on the rest of the tool. And it fits together and it looks pretty nice actually. So this is what's classified as a lever, but it's just basically the handle, I think. On some tools, it would actually have a screwdriver on this side. Maybe it was meant for a pry bar as well. On the end, what is of note is that here you have a large prying tool or a flat screwdriver. So that could definitely be useful for a bunch of different things. And then here, this is huge. And I was asking Mr. Holmes about this. I said, wow, this looks like a very large awl. And then before I had really done a bunch of research or more research into it, then he sent me some more information. And this is the lock breaker. So take a look at this monster right here. Wow. That is a very thick chunk of metal. You guys think your pry tools are cool. Look at this one. Man, that's ready to do some serious damage. Then on the outside of this tool is a knife, and I think that's fairly self-explanatory. Now, one of the very unique things about this, another thing I did not realize, is that there are no markings on this. So normally, right here at the bottom of a knife, you would always look for where was it made? Was it made in England? Was it made in France? Was it made in Germany on some of these older tools, or Japan on some of the like 70s and 60s multi-tools? But this one had no markings, so that if it was found on your person, it wouldn't necessarily give you away, but I assume that the Germans and the Axis powers soon learned who made these. And as rumor has it, the Germans actually started scanning people with a form of early metal detectors, I guess, so that any metal that was on the Allies was taken off them. Now, the inside tools, and I'll show them right here, these are hacksaw blades. And I don't want to mess with them too much, again, because this is a very valuable tool, but there would be 3 hacksaw blades right in there. And so these 2 right here are together at the moment, and then there's the other blade would have been right there as well. But yeah, so this is, wow, what an amazing tool with a fantastic history. It's just really, really cool to see that. And I guess this notch right here is actually for this ring, or I think actually for that ring right there. And then I guess you could hold that, and then that would hold that in place. So yeah, wow. Really, really amazing. What is really cool about this is how heavy duty it feels. It feels very industrial. Now, there is an early version that this tool was based on, just like Tim Leatherman based his tools on other tools that had come before him. So even this World War II escape tool was based on other tools. And that tool would have been a tool made by Joseph Rogers at Sheffield. And I think that was at the early part of the 1900s. And I'll show a picture of that on the screen from a web shot of that. But you can see how this definitely took design cues from that tool, and it was turned into a World War II escape tool. So another cool thing about this tool is that the more blued finish is an early form of similar to the black oxide that we see on Leatherman multi-tools today. And this one, I have to say, I feel like has held up better than Leatherman tools. They seem to lose their black look very easily, where this one has held up for years and years and years. So maybe we need to bring that back. So today is just a first look at this tool. I want to delve into a little bit more of the history behind the other multi-tools it created. So I will be doing a couple more videos on this, but today I just want to give you a first look at this, how amazing this is. And I hope this inspires you that you don't have to just be satisfied with the multi-tools of today, or collect a couple of those today, or try to collect all the different colors of one specific favorite tool, but you can reach back into the realms of history. And if you are very attentive on eBay and some auction sites, maybe a garage sale, sometimes you will find some very valuable multi-tools that no one else values anymore, and they will have an amazing story behind them. So stay tuned, and I'll be sharing a little bit more about this tool later, and how later on in the 1980s, it would spawn a tool that was rejected by the US and accepted by another country that had been our former enemy.